Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your voice of the Mustangs, Vincent Chanchulo, joining you here today for a Clifton girls volleyball game between the Clifton Mustangs and Bergen Tech. And I'm joined here by another fellow broadcaster, someone who did the last game that got a lot of praise, Juna Crawford. Juna, you did very well.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be doing it again.
And Clifton starts off with their first point. Good way to start the game, no?
Very good way to start the game.
And who is serving for Clifton, if you don't mind?
Right now, serving for Clifton, we have number 11, Melanie Campos, I believe.
And Melanie, do you know what grade she's in by chance?
She's a senior this year, and she's also one of the co-captains.
She's one of the How many co-captains are there?
There's two, her and Mary, number 19.
Mary's been on this team for quite a while. She's very good, and if I'm not mistaken, she's one of the tallest girls on the team.
She is. She was just passed this year by number 12, Kiara.
Kiara is also very tall, and that's really, Ed, do you find having someone very tall on the team valuable to the team?
Very valuable, especially for blocking.
That is true. And a serve here from Bergen Tech. That one straight to the center, almost messed up, but they get it over the net, hits the top, and a good play. Now, I don't think hitting the top of the net was intentional there, but it did go over, and Clifton scored. And they just tip it over. Good job here by Clifton. Able to hang in there. That one back to the left corner. And they put it in a perfect spot. Bergen Tech takes the 3-2 lead over Clifton. So Clifton's 1-1 right now in the season. So, in your opinion, Juno, what makes this team so special? What makes this team different from other teams we've seen in the past?
I think this team is special because of how much of a variety it has in age. We have our newcomer, Michaela, who's only a freshman, but a very important asset to the team. She's setter and outside hitter. And we also have sophomore Alyssa Pollock, whose sister was a very also important asset to the team. She graduated last year. I don't know, it's just a very good variety, and the girls all play very well together, and they're also all very close in friendship.
They have a lot of broad age, and does Coach Rodriguez play into that as well?
Yes, Coach Rodriguez is an amazing coach. It was his first year coaching Varsity last year, but he did a great job. They had a great season last year. It was amazing.
And Coach Rodriguez often talks about how much time he puts in with you guys. So, really, what about Coach Rodriguez makes him such a great coach? Does it have to do with motivation, or does it have to do with what goes on in practice, or both?
It's definitely a bit of both. In practice, he has us do a lot of conditioning, which I think really shows off in our games. Like yesterday, we had to do just squats for about 30 minutes straight. Definitely hard at the time, but clearly pays off in the games. And also just his personality. He's just such an overall a nice person. He's also a teacher here, so he has a really good connection with the students.
Yeah, he seems like a fantastic coach, fantastic guy. I've had a few conversations with him, but if he made me do squats for 30 minutes, I would not be able to walk up here and do my job. And as that one trails out, Clifton gets the ball back, and it is tied at 5. Michaela Francisco, that one goes right over the net. Good spot, a good save by Bergen Tech. A spike there, and just hits off the top of the hand in the wrong area, goes out of play. That's a hard play to make. It's a very back and forth game right now. Juna, what do you think it'll take for Clifton to be consistent and just keep the ball on their end? What do you think Clifton has to clean up right now to make this game more even?
Right now, the only thing, it always starts with a good pass. Good pass to the center is a good set, and then that can lead to a good hit. Really, it's all about the passing, that's the most important part.
So passing is the most important part of the game in general, you think? Is that why Bergen Tech is I'd say, holding a very strong lead.
Passing and also serving. Aggressive serves are also always really hard to pass, which plays into that as well.
And that was perfectly put right there. That was right over the net. Didn't really have a chance to fight back now. But Clifton only trails by 1. So it's really neck and neck, back and forth. And that was a perfect serve right to the back of the court. Is that the serves you always look for in volleyball, just right to the back of the court, or does it vary?
It really depends. That was like towards the back, obviously, so deep, and then sometimes the serves are very short, right over the net. Both of them are very hard to pass with, so there's really no in between. But
and that one was the exact opposite of the last serve. Hits the actual net, falls, but for Clifton's sake, that's pretty good. It's 9-7. Bergen Tech does lead. And the serve did not just... The point for Clifton. Bergen Tech scores once again. It is 17-10. So both teams in double digits. Bergen Tech not very far from taking this first set. Good job by Clifton. Over the net. Good block. Bergen Tech scores. To me, Bergen Tech's defense stands out. Would you say that's something that stands out to you, Juna, their defense on Bergen Tech's end?
It definitely is. They've had great blocks, great passes. They're doing a really great job.
Yeah, they're doing an excellent job against Clifton right now. For them to be away in doing this, that's very impressive. Clifton just a little shaken up, but I don't know. They might be able to come back here. It's never impossible, but they are going to need to work some miracles here. Good setup there by Bergen Tech. Clifton gets underneath it. Over on Bergen Tech's end, too far, and they score again. And Clifton uses their second timeout as they are in some trouble, but they're going to work here to get out of it. We'll be back.
Go to Clifton High School. The snacks there and you don't even like the upper gym. I'm in house right now, so I'm not even. Well, you know what's good about it? You change classes every day. Like one day, what's that? No, like one day. Yeah. Even your uniform? Like one day. I missed my bus. I missed my bus.
And we're back, and Clifton, Bergen Tech. Bergen Tech scores once again. Clifton's been trying to capitalize all game. Too much power on some of those hits, just been leading to plays that go out of bounds. Let's see what Clifton does here. A block by Bergen Tech, but they're able to get it back. Good passing. Clifton, the setup. Good job by Clifton. Not enough power. It's the power imbalance almost. Like there's just certain plays where it just gets hit too hard and goes out of play, and there are other times where it's just not enough. And I think that's one thing that's definitely killing Clifton, but it's also the fact that Bergen Tech is playing almost out of their minds right now. They look very good, and especially for an away team, like I said before, that they look fantastic. And it's 23-10. I know it's not over till it's over, but this set might be over. But even then, Clifton does seem to be a team that plays better later as the game goes on. As the game goes on, they seem to be a better team. Juna, have you noticed that Clifton seems to be a better team, like second set? Like, why do you think that is? Just because of the warm-up?
Maybe it is just a warm-up for them. I've noticed second set, and then it makes us have to go into a third set. The third set is really where we make our comeback when we have to play that, but maybe they do just need to get the feel of the game a little bit more.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think getting a feel for the game and who their opponents are, it's really hard to prepare for an opponent when they're not there and you're only watching film depending on how much you have. And a big miscommunication there. Clifton could have had it. But like Juna has been saying all game, communication is key, and it's just a big miscommunication there. They're really kicking themselves for that one. It's 24-11. Clifton there for it. Good job by Bergen Tech. And they'll score, and that'll be 25-11 to end the first set. Bergen Tech leads. But we still have another set to go, and maybe a third, depending on how that one ends. But we'll be back for the second set.
Would you like to take pictures of our boyfriend? I know you will. No, I'm not. You just use your vocal cords.
And we are back, second set. Clifton lost the last one, but Clifton looking to make a comeback here. Good movement by Bergen Tech. It's been something they've been consistent with all game. And Bergen Tech gets the score. They've been really, really good all game long. Clifton has been doing a solid job too. And like we have discussed, Clifton is a second half team or a second set team. I feel like that's consistent with a lot of their teams, but even for volleyball, they're very good in the second half of the game, or the second set and the third set. So let's see where they could go from here as that one falls. Another miscommunication. And Juna, I can just tell by the look on your face. It hurts to watch.
It does, and I just know from playing that it's the worst feeling in the world to have the ball drop and know that you could have gotten it if you had spoken up.
Yeah, I could just, every time that happens, I just see your hands go to the top of your head and you just sigh. I know it definitely annoys you. It happens to me sometimes. I watch some plays in baseball, and it's just a miscommunication from second to first, but it's definitely something that hurts especially when you play the sport and you know that you can do it. And Bergen Tech on a roll right now, 3-0. And that might have just been an entire set killer right there, as that one hits like the middle of the net, not even the top of the net. So let's see if Clifton can either match that or do better here. Thank God that one doesn't hit the net for Clifton's sake. Goes over the net. Good tip, but Bergen Tech scores once again. Clifton, I have to say, luck plays a pretty big factor into it, doesn't it? Luck.
Oh, luck, yes. It's also really just knowledge of the game and a lot of practice. But, I mean, luck, that's part of it.
Yeah, luck, it certainly is a part of sports. I mean, really, it's very skill-based. I mean, that right there was also kind of unlucky, hitting the...
good timing, yeah, that was lucky.
Yeah, that was, well, I mean, for Bergen Tech's sake, that was pretty unlucky. Hits the top of her fingers and just kind of like rolls right off. But so far, Bergen Tech's on a roll. Let's see if Clifton can get back in here. 4-2. And another one that's a killer. And I feel like it's not even just Bergen Tech. I feel like Clifton's kind of shooting themselves in the foot here, proverbially, right, Juna?
Yes, their home opener on Monday, that was a great game. Played in 3 sets, but it was still a much stronger game than this one by the looks of it right now.
Yeah, it was a stronger game. I mean, especially because of the way it ended. But I think Clifton's really shooting themselves in the foot. A lot of, I can't say simple mistakes, but a lot of mistakes that could be cleaned up. Not just communication-wise, but just play-wise. Like, they have been, like, touching the ball more than once. But that's a good play for Clifton right there. If they could just consistently keep doing that, I think they'll end the game. They'll end this set, and might go to a third. The bench doesn't seem to lose any energy either. They're going pretty nuts, along with this crowd every time Clifton does get a score. So that's actually very good for them.
We do have a very supportive fan base.
Much like all the Clifton teams, I feel like.
Yes.
Which is really important to a successful team. You can't just have a team and have no fans. That's just not going to work. A lot of parents here, a lot of former players usually show up to these games. A lot of current students. I see some in the crowd right now that I do recognize, but then there's also fans like you online who pop in. Once again, thank you for joining us. Perfect play right there. There's nothing even you could say about that. There are just some of these plays here in this game that if you go back and watch, which you could do on any of the sites we stream on, you could go back and look at some previous, some of the previous tape, that Bergen Tech has just made some perfect plays where it's like you can't even really defend it, and they've been doing an excellent job. They have a really good school system with a lot of great teams. Not just this team. They have a lot of other good teams that they have, girls and boys. A lot of great athletes. But that's no excuse. Clifton has not been playing at their best ability, and just like that, falls in the middle of the court, and another lost opportunity. Another sub made there. Clifton needs to get this one over here. They do. Hits the top of the net. Good job by Bergen Tech. Send it back over to Clifton's end. Bergen Tech, good setup. That one high and too high. Looks like it almost hit the ceiling. I think it might have.
It probably did. A lot of the plays hit the ceiling, and if it hits the ceiling and comes back on our side, we continue to play. If it hits the ceiling when it goes over, it's a point to the other team.
Yeah, and that one looked like it did, and because it looked like it came down pretty quick, as if there was someone sitting up there ready to send it back down to Clifton.
I couldn't even tell. I was just like, I didn't see what she did. No, I'm saying I didn't see what the refs did.
Oh.
Because like certain signals like this.
And a rotational mistake makes an 8-point deficit for Clifton. The Mustangs trying to come back here, and that could be a good start. Just make sure. Good job by Clifton. And just a back-to-back bad play. I mean, it starts off good. I could just see it with Clifton. There's a lot of potential here, and like you said, Juna, there's a lot of young players on this team, a lot of good veteran players on this team, seniors, sophomores, everywhere. But I don't know if you've noticed this as well, but do you notice that Clifton kind of starts off a play very well especially when they have the ball, and then just like it kind of just goes downhill?
Yes, I have noticed that. I think it all goes to communication because nobody knows who's going to get the next ball if the pass isn't directly to where it needs to be, which is to the setter mostly.
And I know you said that having a ton of players like from different grade levels and ages is an advantage to have, but do you also think that could be a disadvantage not to have so many players who like have classes together, could build chemistry well?
In a way, yes, because they haven't played together as long, but also the whole team in general is so close with each other. I think that makes up for it.
So, a point for Bergen Tech, but the question I just wanted to ask was, is there anybody on this team that you look up to just as a leader, like that kind of took that leadership role, like just not necessarily as not necessarily the coach, but just a player who's taken a leadership role, but like by the horns?
So, I don't know if you could consider this looking up to since we're the same age, but sophomore Alyssa, number 9, me and her are the same age, and I'm on junior varsity this year. She made it up to varsity out of like our whole friend group, and I just am so proud of her, and she's really like showing me what I need to do better and everything for next year when we can play together again.
And she has been looking good throughout, she has been looking very good, but do you think she takes that leadership role for the whole team? She's like kind of not necessarily a captain per se, but someone who like the entire team looks up to?
For the whole team, definitely Melanie, one of the co-captains, number 11. Throughout the whole summer practice, there she is right now high-fiving everyone. She has the best attitude I think I've ever seen. We could be down by a lot, and she could always be bringing the positivity, and I think that's just exactly what everyone needs to hear. That's
perfect. That's exactly what you want in a captain. But Clifton does trail right now 16-4, so that motivation could come in handy as we're in a timeout. We'll be back.
a phone, so you're ready for like 0.
Bergen Tech just finding the open areas where Clifton can't come together and get underneath the ball. It's really, really difficult. I could see you over there just kind of cringing again almost. You can't handle it, can you, Juna?
No, one, because I know the frustration firsthand from playing, and two, just because I know how they must be feeling, and I'm really rooting for them.
Yeah, I understand. You got the whole setup on. Are you playing? I'm assuming you're playing after this?
Yes, I am.
Oh, wow. That's good. Good luck to you when you play after this, honestly.
Thank you. I think this whole game is making the JV team a little nervous.
No reason to be nervous. Just go in just as amped as the varsity team was. And, who knows? They're two completely different teams. The same school, two different teams. But right now the varsity team is struggling hard, 21-6. I can't say it's a close one, folks. It's hard to watch, but let's just see what happens in these last few minutes. And Clifton gets the ball back, so maybe they can make something happen here. Maybe a little Mustang magic is what I could say we need. Never used that one before in 3 years of broadcasting here at Clifton, but I appreciate that. At least I have one person who likes that, the Mustang Magic. Maybe I'll use that throughout the next couple of games. But a really good job there by Clifton, able to save that, sending over to Bergen Tech's end. They just need to be more collective, I feel like. They're just not, they seem a little shaken up. And it looks like they've been that way from the beginning of the game, even to now, but I think they're starting to maybe heat up a little bit. If they could just get the serve here, that'd be really motivating. And they do get it, and they get the point. It's 21-9. They're getting some cheers from the bench and the crowd. Getting a little loud here. Maybe it took them a little long to warm up, but they might be able to hold on to this here.
It's definitely not impossible.
Not at all. And Juna, tell me about number 7, Allie, who's serving right now.
Number 7, Allie. She's a senior this year. She's a great player. She has a great serve. She plays outside hitter. She's really great, and as a person, she's very nice. I've come to become her friend over the summer, practicing with her. Allie's great.
Yeah, and she has helped with a few live streams here, so shout out to her. She's doing a great job right now. Let's see how long she can keep this up, because I'm sure her arm is getting pretty tired. And Clifton on a roll, 21-12 is what the scoreboard says right now here at the high school. As Bergen Tech is going to come through with a sub. Let's see how long Clifton can keep this up for. Hopefully, for their sake, it will quite a while. And another point on the board. Clifton, I don't want to say it yet, but they're doing really well.
Don't want to jinx anything.
I hope not. I tend to do that a lot. I'm not their good luck charm. Good job by Clifton. And I'll take the blame for that one. That's kind of my fault for the jinxing, but no, Clifton, it's 22-13. They're still down by 9, but an awesome job by Clifton there. I mean, I think that really stemmed from the serving there. Good job by Bergen Tech, but Clifton able to recover very well. They finally get it over, no problems. Couldn't get it over the net. Clifton scores. 22-14. Clifton's just all of a sudden fired up. Juna, what's the change? What's different?
I really don't know. Maybe what we were saying before, that we're getting a little lucky, that Bergen is getting a little unlucky, or maybe they really just didn't need that really extended warm-up.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they weren't warm the whole time, and that one would have been considered a decent shot in basketball, but doesn't necessarily count for anything there. 22-15 is the score, getting a little chant going in the crowd. And another sub here. Good serve there. Good job. Excellent job there. Being able to get underneath the ball there after a nice hit like that. And that one goes out.
Last minute, I guess it's in.
Apparently there was a net call.
Yeah, they said number 4, which is Michaela. I guess that means she either hit the net or stepped over the black line in the middle when she was at the net.
I couldn't really tell, but the ref is saying there is a net call, which I hate to blame the game on the refs, but that was a real buzzkill. Clifton was on fire. It's 24-15, and one more here for Bergen Tech, and you could call it a game. Clifton working together, sending it over. Clifton's not going to touch that. That one goes out. 24-16 now. Clifton trails by 8. That's quite a lot. They're going to need a little more Mustang magic here. They're going to need a Mustang miracle more than anything. And that is the score for Bergen Tech. And Bergen Tech, the Knights, have defeated the Mustangs 2-0. That one 25-16, a close one here. Thank you, Juna, for joining me for this game. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And I am your announcer, Vincent Chanchulo, joined by Juna Crawford, signing off from Clifton High School. Good night, Clifton.